The Dunan River roared as Gameon's squad shoved off from Rickham's docks. Their sturdy boat, crafted by Jeane and powered by Commando's oil-burning engine, cutting through the frothing rapids. Gameon gripped the helm, eyes narrowed against the spray, while Gremio steadied the bow, his cloak soaked but resolute. Flick and Victor braced against the hull, shouting warnings as jagged rocks loomed. Gameon's squad arrived at the mountains. At the top of it, hid a small wooden hut, and an elderly man stood outside. With a lean, slightly stooped frame, his age etched in the deep lines of his face. White beard frames his chin, giving him a scholarly air. Liukan held a walking stick and turned towards the squad as they approached. "Please, sir, we need an antidote for the poisonous flower in Milich's castle," Gremio pleaded. Just then, a voice came from above. "Oh dear, such a concoction would be highly inconvenient." Milich Oppenheimer, the flower general of the Scarlet Moon Empire, made his grand appearance. He rode a dragon and landed between Gameon's squad and Liukan. After some bickering between Milich and Gameon's squad, with a quick swoop, Milich grabbed Liukan and rode his dragon away from the mountains. He would bring Liukan to the impenetrable prison of Soniere. Unbelievable, snatched away in front of our very eyes. How utterly humiliating, Flick said with frustration. With the hopes of getting the antidote dashed, the team returned to Gameon Castle to seek Mathiu's advice. Upon hearing the situation, Mathiu wrote a recommendation letter. In the town of Anti, which I believe is now referred to as Beer Blanche, lives a forger by the name of Kimberly. Let's recruit her along with a scrivener called Tesla. Kimberly is an acquaintance of mine. I have written a letter. Give this to her, and she should join our cause. Mathiu handed the letter to Gameon. With that, Gameon and team had a new mission. But first, he would like to meet a few more new recruits. With the help of Vicky, Gameon was teleported to the Cobalt Village. Things had recovered to normal after the Liberation Army's victory over Quanda Rosman. In the inn, a warrior with towering muscular build and distinctive tiger-like features was having a meal. Fushu Lu would join the Liberation Army after Gameon paid for his meal, costing 10,000 pach. At the house south of the inn, a spirited young kobold warrior could be found. Inspired by Kuramimi, Gon would also join the Liberation Army. With the help of the Blinking Mirror and Vicky, Gameon and his squad arrived at Anti. They visited the local runemaster, a strikingly beautiful woman with an air of mystique. She has long, flowing silver and captivating, almond-shaped eyes that hint at hidden knowledge. Jeane would join the Liberation Army and open a rune shop at Gameon Castle. Gameon then went to the local armorer. A stout, middle-aged man was running the store. He had a stocky build clad in a simple leather apron over sturdy work clothes. His calloused hands and keen eye for craftsmanship reflected his expertise as an armorer. Chapman would join the Liberation Army and run the armor store at Gameon Castle. Before continuing the mission to look for Kimberly, Gameon made a trip to the local inn and bar. At the bar, there was a dancer performing for a group of audience. Her lithe figure and delicate features exuded elegance. The dancer invited Gameon to dance with her after noticing the pair of toe shoes he was wearing. After the dance, Mina the dancer would join the Liberation Army. After the recruitment drive, Gameon headed to the house east of Antai to look for Kimberly. Her wild, tousled hair framed a face with sharp, mischievous eyes and a sly grin. Gameon handed her Mathiu's recommendation letter, but she actually couldn't read. Gremio read the letter instead, and Kimberly said, "I see. I know exactly what he is doing. Mathiu is up to his old tricks again." Kimberly wasn't going to join the Liberation Army so readily and wanted to have a date with Flick first. Yes, yeah. My, aren't you a pretty boy? Kimberly said to Flick. After a night of fun and drinks, Kimberly joined the Liberation Army the next day. Say, Gameon, you are planning to recruit Tesla as well, aren't you? He is here in town, but I believe he's using the name Albert. Kimberly shared information on Tesla before she departed for Ramian Castle. Tesla stayed in a house slightly north of Kimberly's. Excuse me, who are you people? I'm just a regular, ordinary, law-abiding citizen of this town. Tesla did not admit who he was at first. He was a thin man with sharp, darting eyes and a pale, gaunt face framed by disheveled, dark hair. His attire was practical but unkempt, a scribe's tunic stained with ink. Tesla's defense crumbled under Victor's bombardment of questions. All right, fine. It is Mathiu again, isn't it? What does he need now? All I want is to lead a quiet life, Tesla said. Quit whining and get ready to leave, Victor said with an intimidating tone. Fine. Oh, why am I so unlucky? Forced back into a life of crime, Tesla said as he accepted his fate. With the two new recruits, Gameon was ready to return to Ramian Castle for the next steps of the plan. Back at Ramian Castle, Mathiu had already got the ball rolling. All the necessary arrangements have been made. Kimberly and Tesla have done an excellent job, Mathiu said. Forged imperial orders were prepared by the two new recruits. They were completed with Milich's signature and official seal that were identical to the genuine article. With these papers, Gameon and his squad could simply walk into Soniere prison. Please use these to free Dr. Liukan, Mathiu said. With the help of Vicky, Gameon arrived at Soniere prison at an instance. The documents worked like a charm, and they were able to walk through the main gate without any resistance. The air grew colder as they entered the prison compound, the flickering torchlight casting jagged shadows on the walls. A guttural snarl froze them in their tracks. From the darkness emerged a nightmare, a jester-like creature popping out from a human-sized poker card. Stay sharp, Kai barked, twirling his staff into a defensive stance. Pan lunged, his boar rune flaring as he delivered a double-damage kick, staggering the creature. Victor's massive blade swung in an arc, cleaving into the nightmare's flank while Flick's sword danced, slashing precise cuts. Gameon and Gremio struck in unison, a synchronized barrage of staff and axe finishing the beast, its form dissolving into a wisp of smoke. No sooner had the nightmare fallen than the clatter of boots echoed ahead. A squad of Imperial soldiers, alerted by the commotion, charged down the corridor, spears leveled. Kai and Pan took the front, deflecting spear thrusts with staff and fists. Flick darted to the flank, his blade a blur, cutting down a soldier before he could sound the alarm. Victor roared, his sheer strength scattering the enemy ranks, while Gremio shielded Gameon, his axe parrying a vicious strike. Gameon's staff flashed, striking true, and within moments, the soldiers lay defeated, their armor clanging against the stone floor. At last, they reached the deepest cell block. Who goes there? The prison guard shouted as they engaged Gameon's squad in a fight. Hold the line. Gameon shouted, his staff flashing as he met the lead soldier's thrust. Gremio anchored the left, his axe cleaving a spear in two, his green cloak a blur as he barked. Stay close, young master. Pan wove through the fray, his rune flaring as he unleashed a double damage kick, sending a soldier crashing into his comrades. Victor roared, his massive blade sweeping in a wide arc, scattering shields like leaves, while Flick darted to the right, his sword slicing precise arcs through gaps in armor. Kai's staff spun, cracking skulls with measured strikes, his calm focus a counterpoint to the chaos. The soldiers fell, but the corridor echoed with more boots. A second wave, bolstered by archers, poured from a side passage, arrows whistling through the dim light. Take cover, Kai called, deflecting a shaft with his staff. Gremio raised his axe like a shield, protecting Gameon as an arrow grazed his arm, drawing a hiss of pain. Pan charged the archers, his fists a blur, toppling two before they could knock him down. Flick's lightning-fast slashes cut through the bone's ranks, his cry of "For Odessa," fueling his fury. Victor barreled into the melee, his sheer strength breaking the enemy's formation, while Gameon's staff danced, parrying his spear and striking true. Kai's precise strikes felled the last archer, but the squad's breaths were ragged, the prison's oppressive weight pressing down. The final wave surged, a desperate mix of elite swordsmen and spearmen, their captain bellowing orders. Gameon's Soul Eater rune pulsed, urging him forward. Pan's earth-shaking kicks disrupted the enemy's footing, while Victor's blade smashed through a swordsman's guard. Flick flanked, his blade a silver streak, felling the captain with a single thrust. Kai's staff struck like a viper, dropping the last spearman. As the final soldier crumpled, silence fell, broken only by the squad's heavy breathing. Blood streaked Gremio's armor, and Gameon's side ached, but Liukan's cell lay just ahead. The Liberation Army had carved their path, but the fight for freedom was far from over. Liukan was already ready to accept death, but Gameon and team came to his rescue. "You are the troublemakers who showed up at my house," Liukan said. "Say what you want, but for now we have got to get you out of here." Flick hurried. Liukan was rescued, but the mission was far from over. The group would still need to escape from Soniere and return to Ramian Castle. The dank corridors of Soniere prison echoed with the clatter of Gameon's squad as they fled. Dr. Liukan supported between Victor and Pan. Gameon led the way, sword bloody but steady, with Flick's sharp eyes scanning for threats and Kai's staff tapping a tense rhythm. Gremio guarded the rear, his axe at the ready, his green cloak stained with the battle's toll. They had freed the physician, his frail form a beacon of hope for the Liberation Army's fight against Scarleticia's pollen. But the prison's iron heart pulsed with danger. As they neared the exit, a heavy gate slammed shut, trapping them in a cavernous chamber. Well, we meet again. I dropped by after hearing we had some unwanted guests, and look who it is. Milich said, cold and theatrical. Great timing. We might as well settle this here and now. It will save us all the trouble of dealing with you later, Victor said as he readied his blade. Milich declined a straight fight. Instead, he held up a bottle. Do you see this bottle? It is filled with the spores of agony, a rare sight, given how hard these spores are to procure. Did you know they feed on human flesh? Flesh-eating spores, you might say, Milich said. Milich then threw the bottle on the floor and quickly escaped from the chamber. The door shut tight, leaving Gameon and his team trapped. From the cracked bottle, a sickly green mist poured, carrying flesh-eating spores that writhed like living things. The air burned with their corrosive touch. Gremio, his face grim, stepped toward a rusted lever in the chamber's corner, its mechanism linked to the gate. With a pull of the lever, he forced the gate open. "Young master, through the door. Hurry," he said. As the rest of the group left the chamber, Gremio closed the door, trapping the spores and him in the chamber. "Victor, this door can only be opened from this side," Gremio said as he endured the corrosive pain. "What are you talking about? We will get out of this together somehow. So hurry up and get over here," Victor shouted, banging on the door. "No, it is too late. The spores are already at my feet. I can't risk opening the door," Gremio said, rejecting Gameon's call to open the gate. Gremio used every last ounce of his energy to speak his final words. "Young master, can you hear me? I'm sorry I can't protect you anymore, but you have grown so much. You no longer need my protection, do you? I am so proud of the man you have become. I wish your father could see you now. Young master, it looks like it is time to say goodbye. I can't see very well anymore. You have always been my pride. Promise me you won't lose heart until the end. That is my first and final request." Gremio's voice faded, but Gameon's grief hardened into resolve. Hours passed and the silence was deafening. Then the door suddenly swung open. Mathiu stood at the opposite side of the door. "Are you all right, Commander Gameon?" "You did not return, so I marched here with the troops," Mathiu said. There was no resistance at the main gate as all of the soldiers were consumed by the flesh-eating spores. Gremio was gone. Only his green cloak and axe remained. Gameon knelt in front of the cloak and paid his final respect. Gremio's sacrifice had saved them, but the wound it left in Gameon's heart and the Liberation Army's spirit would never fully heal. Before leaving the prison, Victor took Gremio's cloak and axe with him. Perhaps his hunches told him that it may not be truly the end for Gremio. Gameon could not sleep that night as he mourned Gremio's death. Everyone could not believe what had happened. "I never imagined Gremio would end up dead. Death may be a part of war, but I still can't accept it," Cleo said. "I heard Gremio gave his life to save yours? Listen, don't even think of wasting his precious gift to you. I will never forgive you if you do," Camille said. "Gameon, I am starting to understand why Odessa chose you. You would better not let her or Gremio down," Flick said. Gameon headed to the meeting room. With the antidote ready, it was time to attack Scarleticia Castle. Gameon's resolve had never been stronger, and Gremio's sacrifice would not be in vain. This marks the end of the episode. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and subscribe for more. Thanks, and see you in the next one.